Samsung's Galaxy Note 8 is one of the most surprising phones of 2017, not only because of what happened to the Note 7, but because of the fact that Samsung was about to shut down the Note's production. That's what we heard from the rumors. But now that I have the Note 8 in my hand and it's fully functional and not exploding, let's take a look at it. And in this video, we'll also find out if you should invest your money in this phone. Whether you like it or not, as soon as Samsung has put in a new design on the S series, it has implemented the same design on the Note phones as well. Same goes for the Note 8. It is made on the lines of the Galaxy S8 with infinity screen and no button at front. This obviously makes the phone very narrow and long, which is in contrast to previous Note smartphones that were quite wide. They were made so because you get a more wider area to use the S Pen. But Note 8 is made very similar to the Galaxy S8 Plus. Though this makes the phone very handy, and the Note 8 is also quite a step ahead from the S8s in the fact that in the same form factor, Samsung has managed to sneak in a stylus as well, making space for a similar capacity of battery as well. It has gotten thicker and more heavy, mind you, but there are very few companies that have successfully executed a bezel-less design, let alone with a stylus inside. The design has helped Samsung pack a bigger display in a smaller form factor. The Note 8 with a 6.3-inch display is only as big as the iPhone 7 Plus that has a 5.5-inch display. That is 15% more screen area in the same size. But that is just the math. In real life ergonomics, they are not the same. Note 8 is a big device. It may be easy to hold, but it is not easy to use. For example, the drop-down menu is far flung and you won't be able to access it with ease while using with one hand. But the same can be done on the iPhone 7 Plus. Note 7 phones are inherently big, and buying it means that you are ready to use a big screen device. With its difficulties come the fun and of a big display. But still, the design justification depends a lot on other things as well. The Note 8 is thicker and heavier than the S8 Plus, and if you're not buying the Note 8 for its S Pen, the Galaxy S8 would be a better pick. Everything about the two phones is the same except the pen and the dual camera, but you get a phone that is slimmer, lighter and less boxy, which obviously makes for a better phone for daily use. On the other hand, both phones don't justify their big screen with good audio quality. There are no audio enhancements on board that would make watching movies a delight. The Quad HD display on the Galaxy Note 8 is the best display we have seen so far on a phone. It is so bright, so colorful and so crisp that you would forget the iPhones and the pixels of the world. But the joy is short-lived and limited for two reasons. As I said, there are no audio enhancements on board, and the phone just lands flat in the sound production department. You really need a good quality earphones and not just the bundled AKG earphones to get best sound out of the phone, like the Shure SE215 or the Sennheiser CX 3.0. And the second thing that doesn't justify its screen area is the battery. Note 8 has a 3300 mAh battery that powers a big 6.3-inch display. It is only 300 mAh more than the Galaxy S7 that has a much smaller 5.2-inch display. Even with mixed use, you get a day of battery life, giving you around 4 to 4.5 hours of screen on time with the Quad HD Plus resolution on the display, and that is a very average battery life. Coming to the software and performance part, the Exynos chip on the phone has some battery saving techniques up its sleeve, but that can only help a little. It does get the phone going smooth with 6 GB of RAM powering the phone's TouchWiz interface built over the Android 7.1.2. The interface is same as the Galaxy S8, that is pretty fast but not so much as the stock Android interface and is bound to get slow within a year. But again, the Note is all about the S Pen, so we really kept our attention to that while using the Note 8. The phone packs tremendous power under the hood, no doubt about that, but so does the Galaxy S8 or the OnePlus 5 or the Honor 8 Pro for that matter. The Note 8 is all about the S Pen. As we showed in the unboxing video as well, Samsung has put a lot of new S Pen features on the Note 8 and they are surprisingly not cluttered over the interface. They are neatly laid out and very intelligently put for easy access. The Smart Select feature is still a dynamic feature that lets you cut anything off the display and save it in your repository. The handwriting to text feature also works much better than it used to on the Galaxy Note 5. The conversion happens very quickly and it is much more accurate. A very handy feature if you are into business of taking notes quite often and putting it on the internet or creating soft copies of it. Then there's the translate feature that also puts the S Pen to a very nifty use. You select the language you are translating to and from and then point the S Pen to the text and it does the job perfectly. It uses the Google Translate to do the translation, so you do require internet, but it happens very quickly. Sometimes it is also able to read text of the images, which is an amazing add-on. Like always, the S Pen also allows you to use tons of apps for drawing, coloring, making sketches or graphics. The S Pen also has a sharper tip and gives you finer scribbling on the screen. It does feel uneasy to use sometimes due to its thin hold, but that and some more size cutting here and there is how Samsung prevented the phone from becoming a tablet. Now coming to the camera department, when Samsung launched the dual pixel camera on the Galaxy S7, it was the best camera in the market. It had the fastest autofocus, great low light capabilities, and with 12 megapixel resolution captured great amount of details. It was so great that even after a year and a half, Samsung hasn't been able to find a new or a better camera for its current flagships. But yes, the Galaxy Note 8 comes with dual camera that makes a difference to its photography when compared to the Galaxy S8. Apart from the main camera that is same as the S8, there is one more sensor that has a zoom lens that gives you a 2x optical zoom. You can zoom in to get better details than if you would zoom in digitally in photos taken from the main sensor, which helps. Another benefit is the portrait mode feature, and Note 8 has executed it well. The camera senses depth and only blurs the distant objects and doesn't fiddle with the foreground details. And moreover, you can capture both the perspectives at once. Both the sensors work together to create a zoom and a wide angle shot at once, and you can select one of the two photos as the final photo. This is a very unique feature for a dual camera that we haven't seen in any other smartphone. A thing to note here is that the second sensor on the Note 8 is not a dual pixel sensor, so it doesn't have the same low light capabilities as the main sensor. So this was all about the camera's features. Of course, there are plenty of others like the manual mode, the panorama, face detection, slow motion and time lapse. The manual mode particularly is handy while taking some tricky shots. Like in this photo that was clicked in the outdoor conditions with an overcast sky and low light, the vehicles appeared blurred as the phone clicks on the usual 1/100 of shutter and ISO 40. With bumped up shutter and ISO speeds in the manual mode, this photo comes out to be clear. Also, Samsung has not been able to bump up the resolution on the rear camera, that still remains 12 megapixel. The optical image stabilization helps get clean shots while you are moving or the object is moving, like the one I took in the rains here. But anyways, the color production on the photos are great, and this is not only true for images when you watch them on the Note 8's display, but also if you view them on the computer screen. They are sharp and crisp, and the camera doesn't overdo saturation or processing. The noise is also controlled to a great extent that we found was the flaw on the Galaxy S7. The front camera also does a great job, especially with videos, as the face detection works in real time to compensate for light. It doesn't have OIS, so the photos can get blurred sometimes and you need a steady hand to take clean shots. But its low light capabilities are amazing and the camera is undisturbed by harsh indoor lighting. So there are drawbacks to Note 8 as you saw in the video, but the Note 8 is one of the most anticipated devices of 2017 that when compared to the iPhone X's prices and even the iPhone 8's price gives a very good bargain. The Galaxy Note 8 is in fact more expensive than the S8 Plus, and you should go with the S8 Plus if you're not planning to use the S Pen. But if you do use the Note features and if you want the dual cameras on the Galaxy Note 8, that as we saw in the video are a small upgrade over the S8's camera but quite helpful, you should go with the Note 8. Especially considering the price of the iPhone X that goes over 1 lakh rupees and also the iPhone 8's prices that are quite high compared to the Note 8. If there's anything you want to ask about the Galaxy Note 8, please let us know in the comment section below. Also, if you've liked this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Also, subscribe to our channel for getting the latest stuff like this. Thank you for watching.